Hi, Lucia here from the Which Money podcast, alongside our weekly episodes where we give you all the best advice on how to make the most of your money. We've launched Money Shorts. Each fortnight we bring you a taster of the Which Money magazine with hand-selected reviews, investigations and features by our award-winning writers brought to life on the podcast. That means you can get a taste of what the Which Money magazine has to offer without paying a penny. So join us every Monday for a brand new episode of Money Shorts, as well as every Friday for your regular episode of the Which Money podcast. Just search for Which Money wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the Which Shorts podcast. I'm James Rowe. This is the podcast that brings you the very best from Which, with a weekly taster of some of the brilliant journalism you can expect from your suite of magazines. This week we're looking at retirement and how much you really need for a comfortable later life. In the August edition of the Which magazine, Paul Davis broke down the numbers to help you understand how much money you'll need when you reach retirement age. Here's his piece, adapted for the podcast, read by Grace Witherden.
Whether you're chipping in at the 18th hole in the Algarve or chipping in to help your offspring with their property purchase, having your retirement finances in good order is essential. With most savings goals, it's pretty easy to set a target. However, many of us are uncertain about how much we should aim to save for retirement. In May this year, we surveyed more than 2,000 members of the general public, and 51% told us that they aren't confident about how much money they will need in their pension pot to have a comfortable retirement. Even once you have a notion of your ultimate objective, keeping on top of your savings can be tricky, as only 49% of pre-retirees in our survey were confident about how much they had in their pension pots. So how much pension is enough? For the past 5 years, the Pensions and Lifetime Savings Association, a pensions industry body, has developed its retirement living standards to help people with this question. The standards set out 3 levels of expenditure: minimum, moderate, and comfortable, designed to guide savers trying to figure out the amount of money required to deliver the lifestyle they want in retirement. Each standard is based on the actual cost of a basket of goods and services. The minimum income required by a couple is £22,400 per year. For a moderate retirement, it's £43,100. And for a comfortable retirement, it's £59,000. The surge in inflation and more money put aside to help out family members have pushed up these totals significantly compared with last year by 13%, 27% and 9% respectively. The next big question is, how can you achieve your income target? Well, the state pension will go some way towards helping you meet the income targets outlined. We've assumed a figure of £11,500 per person per year in our calculations. The state pension age is currently 66 for both men and women, rising to 67 between 2026 and 2028, before a further increase to 68 over the next couple of decades. Substantial hikes under the triple lock guarantee over the past few years have pushed up the amount that people are getting. Claimants eligible for the basic state pension, for example, get £169.50 per week in this tax year, or £8,814 a year. The full level of the new state pension is worth £221.20 a week in this tax year, or £11,502 a year. Now, you might get more or less depending on how many national insurance contributions you've made, and whether you've built up any additional state pension while you were working, or whether you are contracted out to build a bigger private pension. Aside from the state pension, putting together a significant private pension fund is the key to your ideal retirement. So how much do you need in a private pension? If you have a final salary pension, also known as defined benefit or DB, predicting your income is more straightforward. Now that's because your income is guaranteed and you should receive an annual update telling you how much you can expect to get. But defined contribution pensions, or DC, are much more common these days as a source of income in retirement. DC pension schemes invest your contributions and those made by your employer to produce a final pot. And how much income you get will depend on the final fund total and how you decide to access your money. Pension drawdown, also known as income drawdown, allows you to keep pension savings invested when you reach retirement and take money out of your pot. As your pension is invested, usually in the stock market, your fund value can go up or down during retirement. Pension drawdown is a popular option. Annual sales of drawdown plans rose by 30% to almost 220,000 in the 6 years to March last year. You have to be 55 or over and have a DC pension to access your money in this way. An annuity is a product you can buy with some or all of your pension pot that will provide you with a regular, guaranteed income in retirement. It pays income either for life or for an agreed number of years, and how much you get is determined by the provider's rate, your age, and your health. In 2015, the government introduced what are known as pension freedoms. Until then, most people with DC pensions had to arrange an annuity at retirement. But the change in rules has seen the number of new plans taken out each year plummet from 400,000 in 2012 to 60,000 last year, although improved rates have recently stabilised the number of sales. Our analysis found that couples need a total pot of around 377,000 alongside their state pension to provide the annual income for a moderate retirement via pension drawdown. To get this amount via a joint life annuity, you'll require a combined pot of £409,000. And if you're aiming for a comfortable living standard, your overall fund will need to be around £681,000 through drawdown or £737,000 with an annuity. Those living alone have a higher relative expenditure combined with lower state pension and tax-free allowance compared with a couple. To achieve the comfortable living standard for a single person of £43,100, you'll need a hefty total private pension pot of £601,000 if you arrange a pension drawdown, or £650,000 if you opt for an annuity. Under auto-enrolment, employers are obliged to enrol workers into their pension scheme. This has generally improved pension saving levels in the UK. But in our survey, 39% of pre-retirees felt they weren't confident they were saving enough. Starting pension contributions early means that you can benefit from the compound growth of your investments, and it will help you to achieve a minimum retirement living standard more easily. However, that isn't to say you can't catch up later. To accumulate a pension pot worth £375,000, the amount needed for a single person to achieve the moderate retirement living standard, you would need to put in £471 per month from the age of 20. Now, that slightly scary figure outlines the total pension contributions required, but you won't have to provide all the money. You'll likely benefit from contributions from your employer, plus you'll get tax relief on your money you save into a pension. So the government adds at least 20% depending on your tax rate. Now, if you leave it until you reach the age of 30 to start your pension, the required monthly amount goes up to £612. And if you wait until you're 40, you'll need to be putting in more than £850 a month. Hitting your retirement target doesn't necessarily ensure a serene time post-employment though. Some 38% of retirees told us that unexpected expenses such as house repairs or replacing a vehicle had made their finances more difficult. Daniel Bain from Oxford has suffered a string of car-related breakdowns and other mechanical issues that have left him short of cash. He said, "My energy provider has also failed to bill me for my electricity since October and has now sent me a bill for more than £600, which I'm struggling to pay." With a mortgage still to pay off, Daniel is considering downsizing to a smaller property to make ends meet. And for Sharon Taylor from Chelmsford, having to potentially pay for healthcare is a worry. She said, "Our retirement income doesn't go as far as it did. I worry about big expenses, such as changes in the NHS funding of dentistry and having to pay privately for some medical treatments." The inflation rate has fallen to 2% from a high 11.1% back in October 2022, but the impact is still being felt. Some 46% of retirees have cut back on non-essential spending in the past 12 months, while 9% have taken out a credit card or personal loan. So to best prepare for retirement, here's 5 things you can do. 1. Don't opt out of auto-enrolment. You lose the contributions that your employer makes into your pension pot and pension tax relief. This is money that would have gone to the government as tax, but instead goes into your pension pot. 2. Increase your contributions. Your employer must contribute a minimum of 3% of your earnings to your pension, with you adding 5%. If you can put in more, do so. Think about adding any bonuses, pay rises, or inheritances into it. 3. Monitor your pots. The average worker will build up 11 different pension pots throughout their career, and keeping track of them can be hard. Try to regularly log into the accounts and keep all of your paperwork. 4. Use PensionWise. If you're age 50 and over, with at least one defined contribution pension, you can use the free PensionWise service to help you understand your options for accessing your savings. There's a link to this in the show notes. And finally, check your state pension. You can see what you're on track to get using the DWP tool. Plugging gaps in your state pension might also be worthwhile. You can use the same tool to see which years have national insurance contribution gaps, the cost of filling those gaps with voluntary payments, and by how much it could increase your state pension. There's a link to the DWP in the show notes.
Grace Witherden was reading that piece by Paul Davis, originally published in Which Magazine's August edition. To read it in full, then be sure to become a Which member. I'll pop a link in the show notes for you to find out more. Also, to read more useful everyday advice, then why not sign up to one of our many free email newsletters at which.co.uk/newsletters. We'll be back next week for another episode of Which Shorts, but in the meantime, why not check out Which Money Shorts on the Which Money podcast feed. Every fortnight we give you a taster of the Which Money magazine, just like we do here on Shorts with the travel, gardening, tech and regular Which mags. Just search Which Money wherever you're listening. Which Shorts was produced and edited by me, James Rowe, while the exec producer was Grace Farrell.
Hi, Lucia here from the Which Money podcast. Join us each week as we bring you the best experts and top advice to help you make the most of your money. From property prices to budgeting, investment platforms to pensions, we'll be here to keep you informed. Not only that, but we've just launched Money Shorts. These are brand new fortnightly episodes that will give you a taster of the Which Money magazine that is delivered to members every other month. So to hear the main podcast and our brand new Money Shorts episodes, just search for Which Money wherever you get your podcasts.